So the gauntlet is thrown in the high-stakes arena of Rivers State politics, with the APC National Secretary, Senator Ajibola Bashiru, firing a warning shot and Minister Nyesom Wike telling him to desist from attempts to destabilize the party or resign from the Tinubu administration. It comes after Mr. Wike cautioned Mr. Bashiru to steer clear of Rivers State, accusing him of making careless and provocative statements about the state's affairs. The drama unfolded after the APC's Victor Giedom allegedly disrespected Governor Fubara, saying he can't secure a second term without Minister Wike's backing. Senator Bashiru condemned Mr. Giedom's remarks, stressing that the governor's office deserves respect regardless of political differences. But Mr. Wike is pushing back hard, alleging that some APC actors are scrambling for a 600 billion naira largesse in Rivers State. Clearly, in the red-hot arena of Rivers State, the battle for control is heating up. With the gauntlet thrown, what's next in this escalating drama? Well, for more on this and for his insights into what 2026 might hold for Nigeria, I'm joined now in the studio by the APC Chieftain and former acting national chairman of the ruling party, Honorable Ntufam Hilliard Etta, who is currently chairman of the board of the National Youth Service Corps. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you for having me, Charles.
And a Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, too. I feel very privileged to be here with you.
Well, we're very honored to have you here.
Thank you.
What do you make of this conflict between Minister Wike and Senator Bashiru?
I think that if you put it in a proper perspective, the secretary of the party was just doing his job. I mean, the leadership of the party is put in place to protect the interest of the party. That's one of their, one of the things that they need to do in office. And he was, this national secretary did exactly that. Now, I have not listened to what my successor, because I was once the national vice chairman of the South-South, Mr. Victor Giedom, said about Governor Fubara. But if what I read on the pages of newspapers and what I saw on social media is to be relied upon, he called him a so-called governor.
He did.
And predetermined whether the man was going to be re-elected or not. I think it is not in his place to so do. And it was correct for the national secretary to first of all correct him and then put in its proper perspective the position of the party. And the position of the party is that Governor Fubara, having been elected by the peoples of Rivers State, deserves the respect of every party member in the country, every party member. And incidentally, a man that I love very much, because one of the things that I love about Governor Wike is that he gets his job done. I couldn't be bothered about his kind of politics, his nature of politics. I like the fact that he gets his job done. As governor of Rivers State, he got his job done. As the FCT minister, he got his job done. So he's a man that I have a lot of respect for. But whether I have that kind of perception of him or not, he remains not a member of our party. He is not a member of our party, and so cannot dabble into the affairs of our party. So the national secretary was right in all material particular, like the lawyers would say, in defending the integrity and the party generally.
Right. So in that respect, you could say that Senator Bashiru represents the APC generality of members.
Well, as I speak, as you and I having this conversation, I have not read anywhere where the National Working Committee of the party or the NEC or any other organ of the party has condemned the utterances of the General Secretary.
Well, you were a former acting national chairman,
Yes.
so you know the way the party works.
Yes, I know. I do know that if Mr. Secretary had gone out of his way, away from the thinking of the party, I'm very sure that by today the party would have called him to order. But I think that he represents the position of the leadership of the party, and every member of the party must fall in line.
In that regard, how much of an APC internal, maybe I shouldn't say war, but crisis is this? Because all of Mr. Wike's loyalists in Rivers State are now members of the APC, even though he himself is not. And those loyalists are all ranged against Senator Bashiru and his supporters in the APC.
Charles, I'm here to read about their reaction. But you must understand that whoever is friends and associates of Mr. Wike who are in the APC are members of the APC. And they are subject to the constitution of the APC. I am not in a position to say anything with regards to their reaction because I have not read any. I have not bothered to research into what is happening in Rivers State as of today. But what I do know is that the minister is yet to be, if he wants to be, he is yet to be a member of our party. And the National Secretary is in his right to defend the integrity, the strength, and everything about the party. He and the chairman constitute the highest level of the leadership of the party.
And how much could this threaten the APC? Because Minister Wike is not really someone to be trifled with, is he? I mean, if you look at what's happened to the PDP...
Charles, let's not scale up. Let us not scale up.
Well, I'm not scaling it up.
We are scaling up by saying it is going to bring crisis into the party. Now, let us not scale up what is happening in Rivers State. Rivers State is one of the 36 chapters of the APC.
But it's a very significant
it is.
state,
it is.
Isn't it?
No, every state chapter is significant.
Yeah, but Rivers State is particularly significant.
That is by your perception, by your perspectives. But to us, the Rivers State chapter is just as important as the other 35 or 36 chapters. And so we will not scale it up to mean that if there is a crisis or there is an altercation within the Rivers State chapter, then it must mean that it will affect APC globally. Let me say here before I round up here that a political party is composed of people with different tendencies, different orientation, different thought processes. And so it will be only magical for everybody's tendencies, thought processes, and all of that to be managed in such a way that you will not have an altercation.
Except now, that the Minister Wike is not a member of your party.
Except that he's not a member of our party. I'm just saying that even if he was a member of the party, it is to be expected that in a political formation, you must have flashpoints here and there because it is peopled by human beings. And so, and one of the things that a political leadership is elected to do is to be on top of those flashpoints. The question that you should pose to me is whether the leadership of the party is on top of its job. And my position is that it is.
Right. Well, for many observers, and I'm sure you know this, the whole relationship between Minister Wike and the APC seems to be based on absurdity. I mean, because he's not a member of your party, yet he carries on as if he is. And many observers have said that he uses that privileged pedestal to confront and attack members of his own party. And now he seems to be turning on the APC while still enjoying a strong relationship with the president. And I wonder how
a lot of people,
I wonder how unpredictable that makes him and how nervous that makes you and other members of the party.
We're not nervous at all. Mr. Charles, look, let me tell you. There are so many people who are not of our party, who do not belong to our party, even in the last election, who supported Mr. President. Mr. President is a man who has had handshakes across so many divides. And so if I am not persuaded to be in a political party that he is in, it does not detract me from supporting him. You remember that somebody like Dr. Namani, who was not a member of our party, threw his support to the president before the election. So it is possible that you have these kinds of people all over the place. But if there was a confusion at all, whether Governor Wike was a member of our party or not, the position of the National Secretary has strengthened the position that he is not.
Right. And well, I mean, let me put it another way. Will the APC be pleased to see the back of Nyesom Wike, or does his continued presence and obvious relationship with President Tinubu bring some kind of unquantifiable or perhaps unknown value to the APC?
Apparently, you're putting a lot of store.
Well, I'm asking you questions because you're a prominent member of the APC.
I am.
Yeah.
And you're putting a lot of store on the perception that he is, you know, what they call APCDP. And what I'm trying to tell you is that the response of the National Secretary has provided an answer to that. Now, whether he is going to maintain his relationship with Mr. President is left to Governor Nyesom Wike and Mr. President. It is not a party matter. It is not for the party to manage the relationship between Mr. President and Mr. Wike.
But what about the party managing what is going on in Rivers State, which is now an APC state? Because
if there are people who have infracted, who have committed infractions on the constitution of the APC, of course, the constitution of the APC will be made effective in that circumstance. So for us, you and I, it is early days yet to determine whether there are people in Rivers State, APC, who have crossed the line constitutionally. And that will be determined by the party. I can assure you that this party is a party that is built on cohesion and discipline. And that if there is anybody that crosses the line as a member of the party, the constitution of the party will be brought forward, and that person will be confronted with the constitution of the party.
Well, the point I'm trying to make here is that if you look at the statement by Victor Gierdom, which you clearly have looked at, it's published, it's reported in most of the newspapers and on television. I mean, he made it very clear that he'd referred to Governor Fubara as a so-called governor and said that he had no chance of re-election without the endorsement of Minister Nyesom Wike.
And I have said there that Mr. Victor Gierdom, with all due respect to his office, does not have the authority or the right to preempt the party.
Yeah, but he's speaking...
No, he's not speaking on behalf of the party.
Well, he may not, I mean, according to you, may not be speaking on behalf of the party, but he's certainly, I mean, there's local politics and there's national politics.
Yes.
And in the context of local politics in Rivers State, he's obviously giving his assessment of something he appears to know very well, and a lot of people know very well, that the biggest influence politically in Rivers State is Nyesom Wike.
Look, Charles, I am not from Rivers State.
Right.
I cannot, for instance, outside of God, begin to do permutations as to who has the ability to win an election or not. So, but for me, it is about the party and how the party is run. It was wrong for the national vice chairman to make such assertions without the authority, without the instrumentality of the NWC. You cannot, for instance, say that one individual or one contestant will not be able to have the ticket of the party, or even if he has a ticket of the party, he will not be able to win the election. You are not in that kind of privileged position. You cannot play God. Even when we take it away from the sphere of the spiritual and come down to the sphere of the naturals like us, like the mortals like us. He cannot speak for the party on matters of that nature. He cannot.
Well, I'm not sure he was speaking on behalf of the party.
And so he was wrong.
I mean, he was making an assessment which, for many observers, is a fairly well-known public issue, I mean, question, and that is the fact that Nyesom Wike is the dominant political force in Rivers.
You know, Charles, to be a member of the NWC of a party, a governing party in Nigeria, is a very privileged position. And if you read our constitution, the NWC sits as an appeal court on matters pertaining to internal elections. So it is completely uncalled for, completely irresponsible for one who will be saddled with the responsibility of sitting on appeal if somebody like a Governor Fubara had a problem in his nomination, to say categorically that that person, that governor, is not going to have the ticket of the party, right, or is not going to win his re-election.
So are you going to take any, is the party, not you, but is the party going to take any action against
I am not in
him?
the leadership of the party.
Or are you going to wait for whatever mood President Tinubu is in to see whether or not he's going to dabble in sort of Rivers politics?
Mr. Charles, my time as a member of the NWC was well spent. I contributed my best. I'm no more a member of the NWC. So I cannot speak for the NWC. They are very...
But do you think they ought to take action?
They are very intellectually layered men.
Do you think they ought to take action?
Well, if I was a member of the NWC, I would answer that question. For me to answer a hypothetical question,
well, it's not hypothetical, because something has happened. You have condemned what has happened. You've said unquestionably that he was not supposed to speak that way, particularly as somebody who's a public-facing officer of the party.
You're asking me to make conjectures.
No, it's not a conjecture.
Or that I should.
I'm asking you.
I should go into the minds of the man.
I'm asking you as somebody who is a very, very knowledgeable. I mean, who reached the level of an acting national chairman of the APC. You must know the laws and the rules and how things operate. Whether or not you think action should be taken against him.
I think that I will leave that within the purview of the leadership of the party. I do not want to dabble into matters that I do not have any control over.
Right. Well, let me put things this way. If this tiff between Bashiru and Wike continues to deepen, and at the moment it doesn't show any signs of abating, how would you assess the strength of these power players? What do you see? Do you see Wike, the kingpin, losing control? Bashiru playing hero or pawn? Governor Fubara, who for all intents and purposes appears to be the new rising APC star because he's got the support of the APC, and that must really make him feel reasonably good. Do you see him as that rising star, or still stuck in limbo as Wike's puppet?
Well, let me tell you what I think. For me personally, I think that former Governor Nyesom Wike should make up his mind and join the PDP, the APC. As you are all aware, as he is aware, the PDP that he is a member of is literally fading away from Nigeria, from the Nigerian political scene. And for a man that gifted, for a man that colorful, for a man with such level of competence, it would be nice to have him in the APC. And I say this not just because I'm a member of the APC, but because I'm a member of the APC from the South-South. And I do know that we need his expertise. We need his
But you already have
competence.
his expertise.
No, we have, not as a member of our party.
Yeah, but if he were to, I mean, you're a politician, and in the world of politics, and I'm speculating now because I'm not a politician.
You sound like one, Charles.
No, I'm certainly not a politician. But what I'm wondering is, in the political calculus, would he be losing influence by joining the APC? Because, I mean,
I don't
he has
think so.
enormous influence in the PDP, even if it's, according to you, a waning party. If he were to leave the PDP, he would essentially be, you know, amongst the ranks of so many other people and would be struggling for influence.
Within the ranks of the APC, I do know that a lot of people, just like I had said before, would love for Governor Wike to come over. And he will not come to play a secondary role in the APC in the South-South. His competence, his character, his level of understanding of Nigerian politics would not allow him to play a secondary level within the APC.
It's interesting.
He will come. Let me get my thoughts out, Charles. Now, he will come as a leader in the APC, and a lot of people will be glad that he is in the APC. Now, but where we will have contentions, where we will have some tensions, is if he is in the PDP and attempting to control the narrative or the trajectory of the APC in the South-South.
Well, that's what's happening at the moment, isn't it?
That is what you believe that is happening. I have told you that if
well,
there was any,
that is
what
clear.
I am saying, that if there was any confusion as to where the party stood in the matter of Governor Wike, then the position of the National Secretary has strengthened and strengthened.
Right. Okay. Well, if I might ask you to gaze into your political crystal ball.
Yes.
How do you think this high-stakes showdown will end? Who will win?
You know, the greatest, some of the greatest things that happened in Nigeria in the past few years is that a lot of people go into political contestations without actually thinking of the end game. To me, I do not know what the end game is, but I do know that the waning of the PDP in the South-South that I come from has made for the ascension of the APC, and that the APC is the #1 party in my zone as I speak, and that that will speak positively for my party in any future elections.
Right.
That is my position.
Okay, we're almost out of time. Do you see Minister Wike's ministerial job being at risk amid this crisis? Because now he's got some APC bigwigs gunning for him.
Well, that will be a question for Mr. President, because, I mean, constitutionally, it is the president that has the right to hire and fire. And so, you know this president. This president is a loyal person. This president does not follow the big wigs, as you have said. You have the positions of the big wigs to take decisions, especially when it comes to people to hire and to fire. And so everything that has happened now, the decisions that must be taken when it comes to the minister's position, the minister's job, is on the table of Mr. President. And if there's any one person who has no interest in except he believes that you're no more serving the country as you should, I believe that his, all of the things that are happening are not things that will persuade Mr. President to act out of turn.
Okay. On that note, I want to thank you very much indeed. Honorable Ntufam Hilliard Etta.
We never got to speak about 2026.
Yes, unfortunately, we're almost out of time, but you're actually right. So let me give you literally 1 minute. What do you see for this country in 2026?
A rising Nigeria economically. The world has to find a way of dealing with the Trump phenomenon. It has come, and for men of straw, like the one who is going to succeed me now in this program, they have to find a way of providing solutions to the world on how to deal with the man. Because whereas a lot of Nigerians will say, oh, Trump is coming to help us. Trump is not coming to help anybody. You saw the tweet that he released after taking President Maduro. It was about oil. It was strictly about the Venezuelan oil. And remember when he said he was coming, guns ablazing into Nigeria, a lot of people said he was coming for our resources, and there were some people that said, what kind of resources do we have? I think his invasion of Venezuela has answered that question. But I am very sure that the professor can do a better job of the Trump phenomenon than I can. But I believe that economically Nigeria is on the rise. All the indices are in the positive ratings. I think that what the president has to do now is to connect the dots and make whether we have 80 billion in our foreign reserve, whether our growth rate is 7%, whatever it is, it has to trickle down to the homes and the tables of average Nigerians.
Okay.
That is his job. That is where his job is cut out for him. But about the indices, we're in the right place.
On that note, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Ntufam Hilliard is an APC chieftain, former acting national chairman of the ruling party and currently chairman of the board of the National Youth Service Corps. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you.